Hello and welcome to another Artemis online session with me, Nick, the drama tutor. Today's lesson, we're going to be looking at how we use our voice to tell a story. Whether it's through script work or a voiceover, we're going to work out how to warm up our voice properly before we begin. Hello, and firstly, I'd just like to thank you for tuning in. So these videos are free to the public, and it's really important that you spread the word. So these videos are for anyone from a beginner who has never done any performing before to the advanced professional that is just trying to keep on top of their training. Now, if you're interested in subscribing down below, you can keep up to date with all of the videos that we're going to be getting out throughout the next month or two. Now, first question is, why is the voice so important? Well, it's important because other than the performing and the characterizations we do on stage, we need to tell the story somehow, okay? Now, it's really important that we warm our voices up fully to the max. So if you're one of these performers that like to dive straight into the characterization and give yourself a full emotional performance, that's great. But we really need to make sure that we've got all of the groundings and foundations behind our voice so that we can put that into our performance and tell the story. So it may sound weird, but our voice comes from our body. So we really want to make sure that we do a nice physical warm-up, like with any different exercise we do in drama. All right, so let's get cracking. Today, I have two assistants to help me out. So we've got Honey on my right, and we've got Joe on my left. Now, we're going to start off with a nice physical warm-up, okay? As I said, it's really important that our voice is prepared for our gait and our physicality. So we want to make sure that we're stood up nice and tall to start off with, and our feet are shoulder width apart. And we're going to start off with just lifting our shoulders up to our ears and holding it for 5 seconds. So shoulders up and keep them there for 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to drop them down on a ha sound. Okay, so we're going to vocalize it already. So shoulders up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, ha. Good. And again, 3 times. So up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, really tall, and drop them down, ha. Good, excellent. So we're working on supporting our voice there through our diaphragm, which we'll move on to a little bit later on. Great, so now feet a little bit wider this time. We're going to have a little sway side to side. So really make sure you've got good space here. And you're really just swaying your arms all the way across. Get your shoulders going as well. Excellent. And what this is going to do is it's going to make us nice and loose, our upper body, and our hips are going to go with it as well. So talking about our hips, let's just give ourselves a nice little figure of 8 with our hips. Little swirly swirl. Good, and then do it the other way around. So figure of 8 the other way around. Good, who knew this was going to be a dance class as well as an acting class, eh? Excellent, good. Now reach right up to the ceiling, and we're going to breathe in again for 5. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rolling down, breathing out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, now whilst you're on the floor here, I want you to let out some sound, and we're going to shake our shoulders and wiggle our bodies, and whatever sound comes out, that's fine. So we're just going to, okay? So if you turn into Tasmanian Devil, that's fine. Good. And then just roll up and just place the shoulders back to where they are. Excellent. We'll do that again. So reaching right up to the ceiling, breathing in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathing out for 5, going down. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and wiggle your bodies. Good, excellent. Now shake your hands out as well. Okay, great, moving on. So we're going to put our hands in prayer position like this, okay? And we're going to do this again with our breathing. So it's really important that we're breathing throughout this. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, okay? It's really important because our breath control is really the kind of key tool to supporting our voice. Okay, and it focuses us as well. So hands in prayer position. We're going to breathe in and lift up to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we're here, we're going to breathe out and roll back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not too far, just to there, and then back up and follow it all the way down. Breathing in. Good. Hands on the floor. We're going to breathe out and walk back like Spider-Man. Good, and then we're going to roll through with a big breath out with our head going through like this. And then stretching that back. Good, make sure we're not overstretching. We don't want to pull any muscles or click anything. So once we're here, take a nice big breath out. Excellent. Walk it back so we're in a sitting position. So our bums should be touching our heels. And then we're just going to sit up and stand up. And then we're going to do the whole process again, okay? So what that's doing is it's really just stretching everything out from our backs all the way through. So it's going to help with our posture and our gait so we're stood nice and straight. Great, so everyone should be feeling a lot more physical now. Everyone should be feeling nice and loose, and we've warmed our whole bodies up. So now we're going to be working on our lips, our teeth, our tongue, everything that we need for our articulation when we're speaking. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to warm our tongues up. So first, I just want you to stick your tongue out. And we're going to go left, right, up and down. So tongue out, there, up, and down. Good, and try and see if you can touch your nose with your tongue as well. I've never been able to do that. So, I'm quite far off. Good, so the reason we warm our tongue up is because when we're speaking, we want a nice flat tongue, okay? Because if it's moving around in our mouths, then a lot of the sound is going to be held back and we won't be able to get that full projection out, okay? And a good technique for this is once we've done our tongue circles around our mouth, if you get a bit of paper, or even if you just want to use your fingers, you're going to stick your tongue out and you're going to hold the end of your tongue like this, okay? So holding the end of your tongue. And what you'll feel is you'll feel the tongue is resisting against you. Because it's a muscle, it's going to be pushing against you or moving around where it wants to. And we want to gain control of that. So the way we can do this is just by grabbing one line of a script or text or something that you're working on. So I'm going to go for a bit of Romeo and Juliet. So, holding your tongue up, I'm going to speak the line. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? Okay, obviously sounds a bit silly at the moment. But what we'll feel is that tongue pushing against us. Did you feel it? Why don't we try to put our tongue out and hold it and speak one of our lines together? So, why don't we go with the line that I've chosen from Romeo and Juliet, which is, but soft, what light through yonder window breaks. So, holding our tongue with our two fingers. And here we go. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. And you'll really feel that pulling against you. We'll do that about 3 or 4 times, and what you'll feel is eventually the tongue starts to stop resisting against your fingers and starts to relax in the mouth. So a good position for that is just behind your front 2 teeth, nice and relaxed. So our tongue should be ready to go. Excellent. Now we're going to move on to warming up our lips. So, good one for this is just to blow me kisses. So, and raspberries. Okay, and make sure we add that ah sound at the end as well. So it's closing the mouth and opening the mouth afterwards. So, and back to the kisses. Good, thank you for all the kisses. That's very kind of you. Perfect, so now our tongue should be feeling nice and relaxed in our mouth, and our lips should be feeling quite tingly and ready to speak lots of words. So we're going to work on our jaw now. And the reason the jaw is really important and it's not got any tension is if we have tension in our jaw, our mouths tend to stay quite shut. And to be able to get sound to the back of an auditorium or a theatre, we want them nice and loose and nice and open. Now, you might have seen an example of this on X Factor when you can see the back of their tonsils when they're singing a big high note. Now, that's a really good way of getting that sound out. So let's clap our hands together like this and open your mouth slightly, and we're just going to shake. And as we shake, I don't want to shake your bodies, just shake your jaw, okay? And what it should do, you should feel your jaw moving backwards and forwards, and this will just loosen any tension you've got up. So, clap our hands, here we go. And we can vocalize this as well, so. How beautiful did I look just then? Brilliant. So we can do that for about 10 to 15 seconds. And another good one for this is putting our fingers on the sides of our muscle here, the jaw muscle. Now, if you clench your teeth down, like you're biting on some food, you'll feel these 2 muscles here clench. Now, the 2 muscles that you're going to feel, you're going to get your 2 fingers in just little circles, like you're giving them a massage. So clench down, and just, that's it, just nice little massages on your jaw like that. Good. And then once you've done that, open your mouth, and then massage it with it open like that. Excellent. The cameraman behind me is just going like that. So it's very funny to watch. Cool. So, jaw's warmed up, tongue's warmed up, lips are warmed up. Now, we've got to move our faces as well, so make sure our faces are nice and warmed up. Give them a nice massage. Cool, so the next thing we're going to do is a technique which is used mainly in singing. So if you've done any singing before, you'll be very familiar with this. It's called a siren. And what that means is we're going to massage all of our vocal folds out without even having to touch them. And we're going to run from our lowest note all the way up to our highest note. And that means we're going to go through that breaking point of our voice. Now, the breaking point is where you start to feel it go up to the higher range, which we like to call, with women, falsetto, or with men, our head voice, okay? So we're going to start off with just a nice hum. So going from our lowest note all the way up to our top and back down again. So, do you like my conductor hands as well as we do it? So, and again. Great, and to keep these lips nice and warmed up as well, we're going to turn it into a raspberry. So, okay, you might feel your nose starting to tingle there. You might want to give yourself a little itch of your nose. Great, so what that's doing is working every single note in our vocal range so that we're ready to hit any note that we want to hit. And just as important in acting, you might place your character quite a high voice. So if they're a younger character, you might have decided to pitch it quite high up here to tell a story like this. And if you want to do that, you really want to massage your top range out. Brilliant. So the final warm-up we're going to do with our bodies is our neck. Now, this is really important because this is where a lot of our sound is coming from. Our vocal folds, our vocal cords, everything is in here. So we're going to have a little look to our left shoulder, and we're going to stroke the dog. So over to our left shoulder here. Not too far. We don't want to be an owl and go all the way around. Just take your right hand, place it out, and then just stroke the dog there. That's the one. Excellent. Now look over to your right shoulder and stroke the other dog. Good. Look up to the ceiling. Not too far back and down. Excellent. Now, I see a lot of people that do these warm-ups, that do a big circle round with their neck and all the way around the other way. I'm not saying this is wrong and can be quite useful in dance, but with acting, we don't want to collapse anything in our vocal folds. So if you're going to do big circles, just keep them here. We don't want to drop our necks right far back because that can do some damage to this part of our voice. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to move on to some tongue twisters. All right, moving on to tongue twisters. Now, I do love a good tongue twister because it gets us moving our lips and moving our mouth as fast as possible. Now, I'm going to give you 3 different tongue twisters here, and I want you to start off saying them nice and slow, and then we're going to get faster and faster and faster. So, first tongue twister for you is red lorry, yellow lorry. Okay, so repeat after me. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Good, excellent. And we're just going to get faster with that. So, red lorry, yellow lorry. 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 Red lorry. Now, if you all said lolly, don't worry. I say it lots of times as well. But you can have red lollies as well as red lorries. So, next tongue twister, we're going to go for our T's. So, we're going to work on our pronunciation of the letter T. And it goes like this. So, in tooting, 2 tutors astute try to toot to a duke on a flute. Okay? So, after me. In tooting, 2 tutors astute try to toot to a duke on a flute. Good, and we can get faster and faster with that one as well. Brilliant, so let's try it really fast. So, in tooting, 2 tutors astute try to toot to a duke on a flute. There we go. So, it's not all that easy. And what we need to really make sure with our T's is that the faster we get, the lazier we're going to get, because our mouth is going to have to work twice as hard. So really get used to spitting that T out. So t, 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 t. In tooting, 2 tutors astute, and make sure we get that T on the end of astute, try to toot to a duke on a flute. Last tongue twister for you is unique, New York, New York, unique. Okay, now this one can get a little bit jumbled up. So let's try it again. Unique, New York, New York, unique. Excellent. So now we've done our tongue twisters and our faces are nice and warmed up, we're going to talk about how we can overwork our mouths to really make sure our punctuation and articulation is at its absolute peak so everyone can hear what we're saying. Now, a good trick that I learned at drama school, we use this thing called a bone prop, which you can buy online, but they're really useful. And what you do is you put them in your front 2 teeth like this and you bite down on it. And we do exactly like we did when we put our tongue out for our tongue tension, and we just hold the bone prop in our mouths here. Now, I don't have a bone prop with me, but I do have a pen. So, little example, if you've got a pen close to you, and you've given it a nice sanitize off and all that, you're going to put it in your teeth like this, and you're going to speak You're going to speak one of your lines. So I'm going to go for the same line I went for earlier from Romeo and Juliet. So give it a try. So pen in the mouth, and what soft, what light through yonder window breaks. Excellent. So take that out, give it a little wipe. Now, the reason this works is because we're actually stopping our mouths from doing all the movement it wants to do. When we then speak those lines and those words, our mouth will then compensate and work doubly as hard. So, try again, pen in the mouth. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. Excellent. So you can give this a try. As I say, you can buy a bone prop or you can use something really simple. And this helped me through drama school a lot and really helped me work on my articulation. So, if you've ever worked in stage, you'll probably hear this from the director quite a lot. Sorry, can you speak up, please? I can't hear you. Now, if you are one of these people, then we need to work on something called our diaphragm, okay? Now, it's really important in theatre that what we say is heard, because we can be one of these actors that really get emotionally lost in our characterization. And when we do that, we tend to forget about the voice a lot. So, for example, I did a show once where I got a review about how well I could be heard on stage. Now, that's not the best compliment for an actor, because you think, well, that's a given, right? We all need to just be heard on stage because we're telling a story. But you'll be surprised at the amount of shows that people go to see where you can't hear what they're saying. And this is really important because if you want to get re-employed, a director works very closely with a script writer, and you've got to impress everybody. And the script writer has written those words for a reason, so we need to speak them nice and clearly, okay? So how we project our voice is by our diaphragm. Now, this goes back to our gait and our posture when we're talking about our collapsed physique or our nice and tall physique. So the last thing we want is for our bodies to be bent over like this, okay? So first of all, nice and straight, because if we're bent over like this, a lot of our sound gets quite tight and nasally, and it gets a little bit restricted. Now, you may have also heard a bit of a myth that if you tighten all your muscles up and speak like this, then that will push sound out. Actually, what that does is that damages everything in our vocal folds here. So we want to just keep nice and relaxed. Now, here's how we use our diaphragm. I'm going to give you a little tip here. We're going to start off with a nice laugh, okay? So give yourself something to laugh about, tell yourself a joke or something that you find funny, or remember something in your head that's quite funny, and let's have a nice laugh. So, ha 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 ha. Okay, try and make it as genuine as possible, because when you're forcing a laugh, it isn't quite using the diaphragm. So, ha 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 ha. Put your hands on your belly here, and what you do is you'll feel your diaphragm working. So once you've felt that position of that laugh, we can then go for our lines. So, ha 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 ha. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. So that's all coming from here. We're not using our mouth to push anything out, or our jaws, or our slumped position. Nice and tall, and using that diaphragm to support ourselves here. So, using our diaphragm can give us a stronger, more effortless, and energetic quality to our voice. And it can really help with our resonance as well. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is stuff that we can do to help that isn't anything to do with speaking or our physicality, and that is dietary and what we can eat and drink to help. So you may find that if you're doing a show, a lot of actors do shows for about 6 months on tour, and they can be saying the same lines every day and can get quite strenuous on the voice. So it's really important that we're drinking a lot of fluids. So water's always good. So lots of water. We want to avoid things like dairy products and caffeine, okay? Because these tend to clog up all of our voice here and can sort of bring up a lot of glucose. Okay, so sugary foods, fried foods, dairy products, and caffeine is out. Brilliant. Okay, so just to recap on everything we've learned today. So we've spoken about our physicality, our warming up of all of our face, our lips, teeth, and tongue, our jaw tension, our tongue tension, and we've also spoken about our diaphragm. Now, do feel free to refer back to this video at any point. Now, whether it's going for a voiceover job or an audition for something, or just if you're speaking at your mum's birthday party. If you want to use something that's going to support your voice, check back in on this video, and hopefully that will help you guys. If you want to check out any more of these wicked videos that we're doing for Artemis Online, then please go over to our website on www.artemis-studios.co.uk, and you'll find many more videos of a dance class or a singing workshop, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.